Oh, hello, and welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Phil Coppola, and I am the mobile evangelist for HID. One of the questions that I get quite often is, can I use mobile access with a legacy HID reader? So in today's video, I thought I'd go through the answer to that question because, of course, as in all things in the access control world, the answer is, it depends. So what I've done here is I've put out a few different versions of HID readers here, and let's go through what each one of these is going to be compatible with. Behind me also, I have an old school thin line 2 Prox-only reader. Let's start with that one. Thin line 2 Prox-only means it only reads 125 kilohertz proximity frequency. Bluetooth and NFC operate on completely different frequencies. Not to mention the fact that this reader here is not intended, was never intended to have any kind of encryption, any sort of upgradability. It can do one thing and it does it really, really well, and that is read 125 kilohertz proximity frequency. That is it. So if you have a bunch of thin line 2s or Prox-only readers on your wall from other manufacturers, if you want to go and make the upgrade to get into mobile access, those readers will have to be replaced. But Phil, I bought some MultiCLASS readers 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. Can these work? Because they also read higher frequency credentials like CIOS, iCLASS, DesFire, and all that jazz. The answer to the question is, you guessed it, it depends. So what does it depend upon? I have a couple, these are Signo readers, we'll get there in a second. I have some MultiCLASS readers sitting in front of me here. Keypad, no keypad. Let's start with this one. So this one, it's a MultiCLASS reader, and this is capable of wallet-based mobile access. Wallet-based mobile access leverages the NFC standard, NFC standing for Near Field Communications. The N, near, means you need to be right on top of the reader, roughly 10 centimeters or less. If you've ever messed around with a credit card or a payment device or a loyalty card using NFC in your Apple or Google Wallet, you know exactly what the performance range looks like, 1 to 2 inches at max. Now you say, Phil, why not Bluetooth? Why not app-based mobile on this device? Well, if I turn it over, it tells a very different story. So as you can see on the back of this reader, there is a little, maybe it might be hard to see, I'll get it close up to the camera. Right about there. There's a little piece of black tape here. You can kind of see it if I shine the light in there. There you go. You see that little piece of black tape? That is covering a port. And if we peel this black tape off, it's on there pretty good, it reveals this little white port. That white port is for a device called a Bluetooth Smart Module. So this reader, when it was manufactured, this is before the days of Wallet. Wallet's a pretty recent development in the access control world, probably in the last 2 or 3 years. This device was built with some upgradability in mind, some field upgradability, hence this little port. Now, you say, well, Phil, it can accept Wallet, why can't it accept Bluetooth? Because it doesn't have the Bluetooth module on here. But because this reads 13.56 megahertz, and because NFC rides on the same frequency, 13.56 megahertz, the likelihood that this can handle a wallet-based mobile access credential is actually quite high. So I could already hear you asking, in which circumstance would a reader that looks like this not be compatible with Wallet? Well, it all depends on the version. Remember what I said earlier, if you purchase this in the last 6 to 8 years, there's a high likelihood that it will be compatible. The reason I say that is because older versions of this reader goes back 10 plus years in production, older versions of this reader simply didn't have the onboard memory to support the firmware and custom key set required for a mobile wallet credential. According to HID's terminology, what you want to look for is Rev E or better, which you can tell based on the stickers on the back, as well as connecting to this via Reader Manager in a variety of different ways. A really great way to tell, just sort of offhand, if you see this light strip up here, more modern versions of these readers have a light strip that's just one solid color all the way through. If you look at older versions of this reader, you'll actually see 3 distinct LEDs underneath the light bar. Those units are probably too old and can't support mobile wallet. So if you look at the sticker on the back of this reader, I'll try to bring it close up and I'll put a static image on the screen, but when you take the reader off the wall, there's going to be a few stickers back here. This sticker in particular, it's usually on the top left of the reader, will have a part number. This particular part number is a 921 PTNNEK0003R. That tells me a lot about what this reader is, right? It has a keypad, 921, so that's an RP40, blah, blah, blah. But that E in the part number tells me this is Rev E or better. So if your part number, when you pull this reader off the wall and you look at the part number and it's got an E in there, 921 PTNNEK blah blah blah, this is Rev E. If I pick up this one, this should be more or less the same part number. It is 921 PTNNEK0000. So these would both be compatible for mobile wallet as well as for mobile app. If it doesn't say E, if it's got a letter before E, A, B, C, or D, probably not going to work, in which case let's have a conversation about upgrading you to a modern Signo reader that is designed from the ground up to support all mobile access. And by the way, if that reader is still on the wall and it does say A, B, C, or D in it, it's probably time for an upgrade anyway. There is no other device on your company's network that is more than 10 years old, probably hasn't had the firmware touched in forever, and is attached to ostensibly an IT-based system. We want to get these units upgraded and updated to shore up any potential vulnerabilities that may be out there, and there's no better way to do that than upgrading your hardware to something that supports modern firmware and modern credential standards. That being said, if you're interested in mobile wallet, but you have readers that may be older than 6 to 8 years, give us a call and we'll walk you through how to check to see if those readers are compatible. Now, assuming that they are, the upgrade here is actually quite simple. Using Reader Manager, you can connect to this device over NFC using an Android phone. If it does have the Bluetooth Smart module, you can connect to this device using Reader Manager over Bluetooth. When you connect to the reader, all you have to do is inject the MOB key. Once the MOB key is injected, some extra values for the technology giants, Apple, Google, and Samsung, are also inserted into the reader. Once that's done, which takes about 30 to 45 seconds, budget 5 minutes per reader to update the keys. Once you've done that, this reader is good to go. If it does have the Bluetooth Smart module on there for service, you can pop that off and move on to the next reader. But this reader would be good to go for mobile wallet. Now you may say, Phil, but what if I don't want mobile wallet for a variety of reasons? Perhaps I want the extended read range of Bluetooth or some other reason that's relevant for your organization. Lots of organizations prefer an app-based mobile credential because they like the performance of having an application in which the credential resides in, and they don't want the badge to be in the wallet of the phone. But you still have these older multi-class readers. Well, as I said, if your reader has that port on the back, then it is field upgradable, which would look like this. So here on the back of this reader, you can see I have this Bluetooth Smart module. It's just a little 1" by 1" square, maybe a little rectangle, so not quite 1 by 1, maybe 1.5 by 1, that attaches to this white port back here. And once powered back up, this reader will now accept communications over the Bluetooth channel. In much the same way that you would update this reader with MOB keys, at that point in time, you can also update this unit with MOB keys. But remember, a MOB key is not required for app-based mobile anymore. Around 3 months ago, as of the making of this video, HID made the decision to no longer require a custom MOB key for app-based mobile in order to make it easier for you to adopt mobile. In that circumstance, you'll use the existing key set that already lives on this reader, and that key set will also be applied to all of your mobile credentials. Of course, you can load a custom MOB key, and every organization that signs up for an Origo portal receives a custom MOB key. It's your decision, it's your option as to whether or not you want to deploy that. So imagine a circumstance in which you already have a reader that has this Bluetooth module on it in your environment. All you have to do at that point is sign up for an Origo portal, issue your mobile credentials, and you're off to the races. To your access control system, it looks like just any other card in your environment. It just happens to be that the card or the badge now lives on your phone instead of in a piece of plastic wrapped around your neck. This smart module is especially useful in mixed environments in which you might have some Signo readers, which is the most modern HID reader that we have to offer, right? It could look like that, or it could look like this. And maybe you have a 50-50 split, or you have an 80-20 split where 80% of your readers are Signo and 20% are still these legacy modules. You want to move to mobile access, but you want them to work everywhere, which is obviously the best practice, right? You want people to have the same experience on a Signo reader as they do on an iCLASS reader. And that's where the Bluetooth Smart Module really shines. So you could take that existing inventory, field upgrade them, and now every reader in your organization is ready for mobile access. Now I could hear you asking already, wouldn't it just be more cost effective to replace that with a brand new Signo reader? That's a decision up to the end user organization. You may decide that yes, it is more cost effective to just field upgrade the older reader with a more modern reader. That is certainly your choice, but at HID we're trying to provide you with options for you to upgrade to mobile access without doing a lot of heavy lifting. So that takes us to Signo. Signo was designed from the ground up to support all sorts of mobile access. So there's a Bluetooth radio in here, which by the way can be cryptographically disabled at the factory, meaning we turn off Bluetooth and it can never be turned back on. There are lots of circumstances in which maybe you have a government customer or an area that's highly sensitive and you don't want any sort of Bluetooth traffic in your facility. We can cryptographically turn these off. No mobile access for you, but you were never going to have mobile access anyway using Bluetooth. You could still leverage Mobile Wallet, which of course the Signo reader supports as well, because Mobile Wallet leverages near field communications, NFC, riding on the 13.56 megahertz frequency, which is again the same frequency that we use for all smart cards currently. What about some other things that HID can do at the factory at no charge? Well, as I mentioned earlier, you can connect to these readers, whether it has the Bluetooth Smart Module, or it's a Signo reader that has Bluetooth natively, or if you want to connect to them using NFC with an Android phone with Reader Manager or tools like HID Link, you can use those tools to update and upgrade your readers in the field, of course. Loading keys, firmware updates, changing LED colors, changing the beep sound, or turning it on and off. But what about a brand new install? Let's go back to my example earlier where I have 80% Signo and 20% legacy iCLASS. I want to replace those iCLASS readers, but I want to do it with all of my custom settings without having to touch every single reader. All you have to do is contact somebody at HID, you've got a guy for that, and tell them what you want to be enabled, disabled, upgraded, updated as part of your custom configuration. We call this a DCID, Digital Configuration Identification. This DCID is created specifically for your organization, and it is ostensibly a custom part number that is only for you, that you can ensure when it is ordered from whatever partner you order your reader from, it will come in the exact configuration from the HID factory that you want to be delivered and installed on your walls and doors. There is no charge for this. This is a free service. We just need to have a conversation with you in which we develop this custom part number for you, and then your channel partner, when they order from HID, simply needs to reference that part number. So let's recap. If I have a Prox-only reader on my wall, is that capable for mobile access? No. No, it is not. It only reads 125 kilohertz proximity frequency. That is it. If I have a legacy iCLASS reader hanging on my wall, will it support mobile access? Good question. Does it have the port to support mobile access? If it does, then there's a high chance that you can. If it doesn't, give us a call and we'll help you make that determination. It may only support wallet, it may not support wallet at all, in which case, let's upgrade you to a modern Signo reader. If you do have a Signo reader, like this one here, you're good to go for all mobile access, in-app as well as in wallet. Remember, order your readers with your custom DCID, your custom part number, to ensure that the reader that ends up on your wall or on your door is configured exactly how you want it from HID's factory. One more thing. Obviously, I'm only talking about HID readers here, but what if you had readers from other manufacturers? Well, if those readers support HID credentials, for example, an Assa Abloy Aperio wireless lock, or I don't know, a Sargent or Yale device, there's a high probability that that module, if it supports CIOS, can also support mobile access. It may be limited to mobile wallet. It may offer you options for both. That's a conversation for us to have individually to determine what your reader infrastructure looks like for non-traditional HID readers. HID has support for literally hundreds of third-party readers, including readers that end up in elevator control systems, secure print terminals, vending machines, payment terminals. The sky's the limit here. So just because it doesn't say HID on it doesn't mean that it will not be compatible with an HID credential, whether that's mobile or physical. That's a conversation for you to have with your local HID resource. If you need a contact, just leave a comment down below. By the way, if it's not abundantly clear to you, I am not in my home office, although I wish I was set up like this. Maybe I should. I'm in the offices of a systems integration partner of mine named CTCI in Clifton, New Jersey. Great shop that services the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania region. They've got lots of stuff to play with, and that's where I'm going now. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe and follow for more, and I'll see you on the next one. Now I'm going into their closet to find more things to play with, but to get in there, I'm gonna use the badge that's on my phone. See ya.